Hello, my name is Kent Field, and thank you for tuning into this YouTube channel, The Bible versus Opinions. God bless you in your search for the truth. While all people have opinions on many subjects, including the Bible and religion, not all opinions carry the same weight or value. For example, would you go to a plumber for his advice on brain surgery? Would you go to a mechanic for his advice on heart surgery? The point is, not all opinions carry the same weight or value on a particular subject. That's why I'm not offering you my mere opinion, but Bible answers alone. So here's the challenge. Are you open to learning beyond your current understanding and knowledge of the Bible? If so, then this channel is for you. If these studies have helped you to grow in your understanding of the Bible, or even life itself, please like and subscribe and share this channel with others so that they too may be challenged and grow in their understanding of the Scriptures.
Very good. I've been asked to teach a course of study on church leadership, and ever since I thought that might even be needed, I started teaching a series of lessons at the Huntington congregation and any chance I got at the Roosevelt congregation or any place else, trying to prepare the soil for this study on leadership. And it's important for us to study this subject because as the leadership goes, so goes the church. And if the church doesn't agree with the leadership, then the church won't follow that leadership and it's just gone. Because people will vote with their feet. You know what that means, right? People will vote with their feet. The first point of my outline in the study of church leadership, and to talk about why it's so necessary, is to talk about what our current practices in the Lord's church have produced in the church today. How have we selected our leadership? How do we groom our leadership? How do we grow our leadership? How do we propagate leadership? How do we produce leadership? How do we select it? How do we organize for church leadership? How many of you have ever seen the Jewel Miller film strips? Raise your hands. One person. The Jewel Miller film strips were an old Bible study tool that I used to use to talk to people with a film strip projector that was portable, and I'd go around and had a little screen folded out, and it had a little record player that slipped out, and you put records on. Eventually I progressed to tapes, cassette tapes, and you'd play it. And those Jewel Miller film strips, one of them, number 5, was the history of the Lord's church. And it goes over not only how the church began and how it was organized and structured according to the New Testament, but also then went into the perversions and how the church started to model its government after the Roman Senate and the Roman government because it seemed to work. And soon, instead of having multiple bishops or elders in a local church or area, there became one area bishop or elder over an entire region, and that became over what was known as a diocese, and then they answered back to the head bishop. Eventually cardinals, and then a pope. And the first pope was selected in 606 AD, Pope Boniface III. And that's when the Catholic Church is dated as it's having its start. But our study is not to be about the Catholic Church. Our study is not to be about the modern church. Our study is to try to be the first century church, to get back to the Bible. Now, I believe that with a passion. A lot of people believe that this Bible is a living, growing, and moving and changing word. And we must change with the times and with the cultures. And you'd be surprised how many of you possibly also believe that in some area of faith and religion and the practice of the Word. And I hope to challenge us, because I've been challenged in the study of this Bible and this Word and the New Testament and God's direction, to understand that these are not merely suggestions. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 37. Let's read that together. Let's establish a couple of ground rules as we go along. Now, some people think that they're spiritual, and some people think that Paul wrote his opinions to us, right? A lot of people think that, well, Paul was an individual, and you can see his personality. He talked about his life and everything else. So therefore, you would think that he was just kind of, when he was writing a letter, say to the Corinthians or to the Colossians or to the Thessalonians, he was speaking extemporaneously, or he was just sharing his viewpoints. And they may have been his viewpoint at the time, but that's not necessarily binding on us today. Well, there were people, even back in the first century, back in the days of Corinth, when Paul wrote this letter, that thought that maybe they might know better than Paul. And that, after all, he was just another writer, a religious writer. In fact, I was reading today in my Bible study, and I was looking online at what some people's viewpoints were and some commentaries and so on about the New Testament and how we got it and so on. And this one fella said it obviously would have taken decades for the church to come to the belief that what they were reading in Paul's writing were absolutely Scripture. Well, I thought, wait a minute. I recall a verse that the only way they could think that is if they're blind, not able to read, deaf, not able to hear, there was no braille, and they were severely mentally handicapped. Now, any of those disabilities is not a crime. But if you behave as if you have those disabilities and you don't, that's a crime. Like Jesus said, they have eyes to see, but they don't see. They have ears to hear, but they don't hear. Well did Isaiah prophesy concerning you hypocrites. See, so Jesus addresses that.
Thanks for being a part of that study segment. I promise you that, Lord willing, there's more to come. With the understanding that the mind can only absorb what the seat can endure, many of these studies have been broken up into a series of bite-sized segments. So be sure to look for the next segment in each Bible study subject, so you won't miss out on any important information. Please like and subscribe if you feel that this lesson's helped you, and God bless you in your search for truth.